My name is Sienna McLaughlin, and the element that I was assigned to for the signature assignment was nickel, or Ni. To start with the history of nickel, the man in the picture is who discovered it. His name is Axel Fredrik Cronstedt. According to National Center for Biotechnology Information, the name comes from the German nickel for deceptive little spirit, because miners called mineral nickelite by the name Kupfernickel, which means false copper, because nickel represented copper but was not actually copper. Therefore, it's German. When looking at these three pictures, you can see that Earth's crust is 10% nickel. Nickel is found all over in nature. You can find it in rocks, soil, and water. It is also used as a nutrient for plant growth. From the second picture, you can see that it has a silvery white appearance with a slight gold tint to it. It is also shiny and has a metallic luster. It is a solid. When looking at the chemical properties of nickel, you can see that it reacts slowly with oxygen, not very reactive, not very radioactive, conductor, and absorbs hydrogen. In the first picture, you're looking at the nuclear structure of nickel. There's 28 protons and 30 neutrons. In the center of a nickel atom, there is a bunch of protons and neutrons packed together closely that is held together by nuclear forces. The electrons in nickel are very important because they determine how nickel reacts with other elements. Nickel is a stable element. Nickel has a lot of major isotopes. However, nickel 58 is the most common, and then there is nickel 60, nickel 62, and nickel 64. They are less common but are still stable, and they all have 28 protons. In the first shell, nickel has 2 electrons, in the second shell 16 electrons, in the third shell 8 electrons, and fourth shell 2 electrons. In the other picture, it is the crystal structure of nickel. It is called the face-centered cubic structure, or FCC. It is a box where each of the corners have an atom, and there's another atom in the face of each of those boxes, creating a 3D-like pattern.
Nickel can be helpful and harmful to the environment.
It can be used for useful things like stainless steel, batteries, and coins because it is strong and resists rust. However, it can be toxic to water, soil, and air. If it gets in the water, it can harm the fish, and if we breathe in the dust from nickel, it can be bad on our lungs. If nickel settles in soil and there is too much of it, it can affect plant growth. And those are the ways it can harm the environment. Nickel is also used in our everyday lives. Walking into the kitchen, you can see where nickel is used. It is in the fridge, the faucet, the sink, the dishwasher, the oven, the microwave, and all the other appliances. Nickel is also in all of your utensils. Nickel can also be found in rechargeable batteries in cars, like hybrids. It is also found in batteries with normal household items like power tools.
This one is a little more obvious, but nickel is also used in coins.
Hey Allie, did you know that there's nickel in your computer?
Really?
Yeah, it's in your phones and your watches too. I'm learning about it for a science project. It helps strengthen connections.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Hey Dad, did you know I'm learning about nickel for a school project?
No, but what have you learned?
I've learned that it can come from the ground and it can be helpful and harmful to the environment, and we also use it every day, like in our appliances and utensils, and it's also in batteries and coins.
That's good, but did you know that it's actually in power tools too?
I did know that. I already covered that.
Okay, what about did you know that it's in all the wiring throughout the house? Like every single wire, every light, every outlet has nickel in it to try to be conductive throughout everything that we have.
I knew about the connectivity of it, but I think it's really cool to think about it that way, that it is just everywhere, all around us. The most rewarding thing about this assignment was learning how much nickel is in our everyday lives and how important it is to the earth.
Thank you for listening.